Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me for today's time lapse. This is a digital painting of sand from the wonderful film Princess Mononoke. The theme I want to discuss today is drawing, or more accurately, ensuring you have a solid drawing before you start painting, which is not exactly what I did here today. So a few weeks ago I decided that I wanted to do a bunch of digital drawings inspired by Studio Ghibli. I adore these movies, and when I love something I just have to draw it. I also thought this would be a great opportunity to practice my digital paintings, so I did a bunch of sketches in my sketchbook as I revisited these beautiful films, but I also was very tired and wasn't paying too much attention to my sketching. The beauty of digital and even some traditional mediums is that you can often paint over your mistakes. This is a little bit trickier for watercolour, but easier with gouache, acrylic oil and of course digital. I just get to a point in this drawing when I realise that the mask is way off what it needs to be, so I need to go in and adjust that. As this is digital, this really isn't an issue, but I would have been very disappointed if I was doing this in watercolour and got all the way to the end and realised that I had to start over. So some tips I want to give here is to use reference where you can, especially if you want to get the details right, to make sure your sketch is accurate before you start painting, and to have a solid idea, a plan in place before you start painting. If you're painting a character but you wish to add in your own background, plan out what you want to have in the background, what colours you want to use that will complement the character and the story. For example, with this piece I have painted her in front of a green background. This does two things. This says that she's in a forest, which is exactly where she would be, that's her character, and also the overwhelming green in the background contrasts against the red that is on the mask, the ears and the blood that's on her throat. I also muted the colour palette a little bit. This is just so that it's not that very stark red and green Christmas kind of red and green. So my lesson learned today is just to pay a little bit more attention to my sketching and just to plan out my pieces a little bit better. I'm just always so keen to get in and start painting that I end up paying for it later. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's time lapse. I hope there were some useful tips in here if you're like me and you suffer from the too keen to get started painting syndrome. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comments below, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Bye!